because I want you to ask questions. I'm going to ask questions. I just want to have a professional discussion. And How was the plane ride?
Plane ride was good, mate. So, look, I guess all I have to really say is that I don't have a lot of, interest in talking a lot about pDAI. If you guys are wanting to speculate on an on-chain asset, that's fine. I think there's pretty important that people understand stablecoins, need to be redeemable for $1. Otherwise, there's a lot of risk in making your investment decisions based on thinking you can de-risk into a stablecoin. So I would just, caution that. If we move aside from that, if people are wanting to speculate on a ticker, then for sure these things can go up, they can go down. So everyone just be careful. I haven't really spent time listening to the theories and hopes of people who want to support pDAI, and I really don't have a problem with that. I don't particularly appreciate people starting a Twitter space, comparing our platform to BlockFi and FTX. I think that's, pretty unprofessional, disappointing. But yes, I just thought I'd come by, say hello. Happy for people to have open discourse, and as long as we're discussing things appropriately, then, play on.
So 100%. The reason why I made the title is just the ongoing thread, or not really threads, but like the back and forth of questioning pDAI of itself with no factual things on your end to specify. And you just said that in your opening statement. I really haven't done any homework on the wallets or anything like that, but how does let's just say how did DAI from Ethereum become a stable?
So I'm going to say a couple of things because I'm transiting, need to get a hire car. Don't really want to have this conversation in the booking area of the hire car. So look, there's some criticism coming largely from yourself that our platform is not DeFi, and I think it's really obvious that our platform isn't DeFi. Our platform is a legacy payment rail system that allows people to move their economic energy from the legacy system in the form of fiat onto Pulse Chain in the form of a token called CST that is always redeemable for $1 of fiat, and that makes that a stablecoin. There's no room or time to speculate on the price of CST. You'll notice it fluctuates around and beneath and above $1 due to its liquidity and the fact that it sits in a liquidity pool like any speculative asset. But it is very simply a payment rail onto Pulse Chain. Now, if you want to buy pDAI, pSHIB, PLS, PLSX, HEX, Loan, Mintra, you can do any of that, and we're simply providing a payment rail system. And the nature of that, of course, it's centralized. It has to be centralized. There isn't a way that you can have a decentralized fiat on-ramp that we've discovered. So I think that, whilst clearly these comments are trying to, attract criticism, we're very open in the product's design and why it's done so. We're simply not able to write an immutable smart contract that takes the money in your bank account and puts it on chain. And I think it's a little shallow, to think that that's probably the case or to use that as an angle of criticism. As I mentioned,
real quick. Honestly, I'm just taking a play out of Richard Hart's playbook, kind of doing some outrage marketing. And it's bringing eyeballs to yourself, and B, it's bringing eyeballs to just crypto enthusiasts and actually understanding what's really going on. It's actually giving people and individuals something to actually just hunker down during these difficult times, especially through the pulse chain ecosystem of itself. I really believe in you and I would have great conversations, talking about anything else at this stage. So if you feel discouraged about like saying it's centralized and all that kind of stuff, I just like for me, for myself, and for the clients that I help out in the whole crypto space, I use the term "not your keys, not your wallet." But I know your
That's cool. They're two
company
different
is,
services. They're two different target audiences. It's Coast. What they're doing is good in their own way, and pDAI is doing its own thing. Also, they're not really. Their target audiences are completely different. Pretty much what you're saying. What's based off what Coast is.
So what you're saying, in terms of not your keys, not your coins, is really important. We've been following Richard since, he was a Bitcoin maxi. We have been saved from many things because of that exact advice. And that is the reason that our platform is designed to make people send their money straight on chain where they do hold their own keys. This is a very different
Yeah,
product
that's
to
cool, and
other
I really
DeFi things.
that
It's
honestly.
simply moving fiat onto chain. Of course, it's centralized. In a lot of
Okay.
ways,
I
it's very similar to a centralized exchange, except we don't offer trading, we don't offer leverage, and we do more to encourage self custody than a normal centralized exchange.
and I
So we
really
are
so
simply,
Costa.
appreciate. I really
So
yeah.
appreciate
Costa,
you guys
does
doing.
is the title a little bit better?
So, uh,
It's not
so the
even
top,
die
top,
versus
top,
coast. It's
so,
not even
so,
die
the,
versus coast. They're both
so the,
completely different things.
yeah.
It doesn't make sense to put one against the other. You,
Listen,
I,
the titles are fine. I think it's just important that people, understand, yeah, that, we are looking to support DeFi. We are not DeFi. And I can promise you it would be infinitely easier in our team's working life if we were DeFi. The process of liaising with people, lawyers, banks, credit payment rail providers is insane. And the regulatory
Yes, I
burden
know
we
that.
have is huge. you know, this is a completely different service, one that we need if we want to grow the network. Now, if you want to grow the network with PLS, PLSX, pDAI, and meme coin, we largely don't care. We're coin agnostic, and we are only providing a simple method for people to bring their economic energy onto the chain we all share.
so if that's the
So
case,
I
so
think
why don't we just peg or make a liquidity between your coast stablecoin that's redeemable and die?
so. You're free to make whatever liquidity pair you want. But I, a stable coin needs to be redeemable for $1 if you want it, to be paired 1-to-1 with a stable coin. Stable coins are incredibly boring. They're not exciting. They're not. There's no hopium. There's no narratives. Stable coins are simply a tool to de-risk your speculative assets, to bring economic energy on and off chain, so that you can, in the example of off ramping, pay for the goods and services we need all the time. And their sole goal is to remain at a price of $1. So
Yeah.
that's done on our platform by being able to be redeemed for $1 of fiat. There is absolutely nothing exciting about that process, but it's an
Okay.
unfortunate, or it's a critical function
Yeah,
that needs to be executed for this network.
yeah, it's cool.
Now, that you know, there's it, the notion that someone would willingly pair a lot of a stable asset with a lot of a speculative asset in the ratio of 1-to-1, I think that's taking a large step. So, I'm not here to criticize the thing that you find important, but stable coins are very simple. They are redeemable for $1. If they're not redeemable for $1, they are a speculative asset. Speculative assets can do big returns. They can do big. They can drop. They can go to zero.
Yeah. So
I'm not
Costa.
here making a comment on
Yeah,
what
Yeah.
direction the project you like will head. But I do think the idea that, because you like pDAI, but it would be sensible to pair them one-to-one with any
Well,
stablecoin. I
everyone,
think that's a large leap.
But hold on. So real quick, it's not like we are in love with pDAI. We're no pDAI maxis. We're always
I am.
asking questions. Okay, you can be a pDAI maxi, but like for myself, I'm trying to like convince myself that it's not a possibility. So I'm gonna let Coast. I appreciate you coming up and acknowledging like some of the stuff that you're like wanting to get off your chest. But if you can do me a favor and I'll do you a favor, I'm gonna look more into because I haven't really looked into what you guys been doing. I've seen what you guys done a little bit, but still I feel like it's still in development. But look into Atropa and the correlation to pDAI and some of the other PRC20s, and come back to a consensus and let us know what you think is going on there. How about that?
it doesn't matter whatever I think is going on.
Okay, guys, no, no
Coast is
problem.
doing one thing. Dai is doing a completely different thing. They're like, I appreciate what the Coast team is doing. I think it's a fantastic thing that they're finding a way to make onboard easier. I really appreciate that because honestly, if we want this ecosystem to grow, we need people to put money in easily. So I really appreciate what the team has done thus far, and even with your stablecoin, I hope everything works out because it's just a plus for the whole community. In the same way that Dai is also a big plus for the whole community in general, because at the end of the day, all we care about is making money. So if we all make money on Dai, the whole market is going to enjoy it. So it's not like it's a zero-sum game or even a one-sum game. Or, this is a big plus for the whole ecosystem. If this works, literally, like, there's going to be money coming out of freaking everywhere. Like, a lot of people are going to make a lot of money with this. So the potential is there. So it's a plus for everyone.
I might make some final comments and then exit. So it's important that you know your counterparty. So, a lot of tokens have counterparty risk. Some tokens don't have counterparty risk. If you're thinking about using our platform, then understand that the money that you on-ramp is put in a account in the names of the users who have on-ramped, and that collateralizes the fiat-backed stablecoin that the community can mint. So the counterparty in this instance is Fortress, a Nevada-based trust company. And then if you feel uncomfortable with that counterparty, then you always have the option of on-ramping and changing to an asset you like. You don't have to hold the stablecoin. You can use it as an on-ramp only. People use the analogy of treat a centralized exchange like a public bathroom. It's fine if you want to use the Coast platform as a public bathroom. Get your economic energy onto Pulse Chain, move it into the assets you like. Hold those assets in your own with your own private keys. Now, we're very confident that in the, I guess, legacy system, that Fortress provides an excellent service that allows this fiat on-ramp to exist. But it is a centralized service. It exists within legacy. It has regulatory exposure, and there are people involved. And I personally didn't get into crypto to trust people, but we have a necessary relationship we need to have between legacy and blockchain. So it's important that you know your counterparty. It's important that you prioritize self-custody. And for me, this isn't about, I want everyone on Pulse Chain to hold CST. We want you to use CST as you see fit if you choose to. If you want to move economic energy onto Pulse Chain, you can use our platform. You can use something else. If you want to move economic energy off Pulse Chain, you need to buy a car, you need to pay for your house, then you can use CST or you can not. So I'll leave everyone there. I hope you have a good day, and all the best to everyone.
Thank you, Coast. Appreciate it.
Like I said, just got to say, respects to Coast. He's the first individual to come up to the space respectfully. and just have a good conversation about what's going on. Who is a pretty big skeptic, but skeptics are everyone here, in my opinion, including myself. So, with that being said, anybody who wants come up, conversate, ask questions. We can talk about something else. We can talk about where Pulse is going to be going in the next couple days, if you guys really wanted to. So,
I don't really think anything is more important than the DAI right now, unless I see something different or someone comes up with some sort of evidence that's